Okay guys, so today we're going to learn how to take good pictures with Sony Xperia, which doesn't take good pictures with its stock camera. First of all, you need to download and install SnapCamera because we're going to take pictures with SnapCamera and manually denoise them with Adobe Lightroom. First of all, go to the other advanced settings, storage location. Specify where you want your pictures saved. Then just make your settings page look like mine. Make your page look like mine. This is the most important thing, by the way. Camera to API lets you disable the post-processing that actually ruins all the detail. On-screen settings, it's also very important. Don't turn off those four. They are essential. You need to have picture size, exposure, ISO, scene mode, geotagging, low light mode, HDR, and stable shot. You want them on your screen because you want to access them really fast. You want to turn them on and off in just a click. Also, you might want to have your HDR page look like mine. I'll explain you the trick. Overexposure, it takes long time to make the overexposed picture, so you don't want too much. 2 is enough, but minus 4.5 lets you have deeper shades in your HDR picture. And review HDR shots and keep HDR exposures makes your HDR work. Some people have complained that HDR doesn't work. This is how it works. Let me show you. HDR 1, 2, 3, and then you manually build your HDR picture. Coarse contrast at the lowest, saturation, add a bit, not too much. Yeah, you'll have to do it every time, but you will end up having a much better picture in the end. So look at this. This is good. Yeah, this is good, though it has a lot of noise. How to fight the noise is number 2 in our today's video. So let me delete all this. So now I'm gonna tell you how to fight noise. Use low mode. Oh, low light mode, I'm sorry. 11 frames would be enough for this light. And you take a picture and hey Mark, there is nothing. Of course, because there's a bug. First, you need to take the picture in 8.5 megapixel, and then you can take the picture with 17 megapixel resolution. That's a very annoying bug, but there's no other way. I got used, you'll get used. So now it combines 11 pictures into one, and this is the result. Look at this. Where's all the noise? Oh yeah, it's gone. There's only texture noise now. There's no color noise. Even though there is a bit of color noise, it's not so bad. Now look what it would have looked like if you took that picture in your super auto mode. Super auto. Look. There is no noise, but there is no detail. Look at this mess. Look at this. Oh, there is noise. If you zoom in, look at this. That's not what you want. This is quality. This is shame. So what Sony does is it too much overprocessing. So let's delete all this and we're gonna make a new set. Number 3. You want to manually edit your pictures. But first, let's take a look at how you take your pictures. Night mode. You just point your camera at something and shoot, right? Point and shoot. That's what people do. Point and shoot. And as you see, look here, ISO 680 and 1/33 second. Do you really need 1/33 of a second? Is there anything that's jumping or moving so that you need your exposure time to be so short? I don't think so. That's why we use night mode. And when you tap, not only it makes everything look brighter, but it also does a little trick. Look at this. ISO 62, exposure time 1 of a second. So it's half second, and look at this. No light, no low light mode, nothing, and it already looks much better. Because lower ISO results in lower noise level and longer exposure time, gets you more actual light on the sensor. But my hands were shivering, so it's not very clear. Not very clear. You might want to use tripod when you do that. Also, the trick is to manually put your ISO to the low level and exposure time to, like, let's say you want ISO 150. You need to do it twice so it works. And then 1/10 of a second or 1/8 of a second. It's a bit slow, but that is how you take sharp pictures without getting them blurry or, unsharp. So 1/8 of a second for a regular person, for an average person, is a lower limit where hands are not shivering too much so that the picture can be sharp. 1/8 of a second. Don't try to crank up your ISO. It will not end up in any good. So let's now do some manual post editing like I have shown you. You could do a tap and end up with very low ISO, which ends up in good quality, but longer exposure time, which can make your picture blurry if your hands are shivering. Or you do your ISO and exposure time manually, and then you see that little noise, you want to get rid of it. We go to Adobe Lightroom. We go there. We add our picture. We add our picture. And this is the previous one. We add our picture here, and we edit it manually. What do we do? Go into the detail, and then I'll explain you what all those sliders do, what they actually do. Color noise reduction. It's very clear from its name already, but some people still wonder what it does. Let me show you what it does. Look here. This is where we had the most noise. All those color dots are now removed. All this color noise is now removed. Look at the floor. There's red, green, blue, all colors. Now, it's just the floor. Also, smoothness. It's a very important slider. It kind of equalizes because it considers every pixel around the pixel that it's reducing, and it kind of levels and flattens the color, making it more smooth in general. But sometimes it ends up in decreasing the brightness of the color in total, so you don't want it so high as 100. Sometimes 25, 30, 40, 50 is enough. Moreover, you never want too much post-processing, because that's what the stock camera is doing. That's why the pictures are so bad. And then do noise reduction. You see, it's soapy now. This much, soap. There's no detail, there's only soap. This is before, this is after. You don't want this. You want it about here. So it makes your wall smooth, kills the noise, but it doesn't eat up all the detail. By the way, look at the sleeve of my shirt. You see it's red. Here it's almost brown because the smoothness is too high. If we crank up the smoothness, the whole shirt, look at the sleeve, the whole shirt loses all its colors. Here it's got different colors. Now everything looks the same. It just levels the colors, so be careful with it. Sometimes you want to save your colors, you don't want to kill them. Maybe detail, well, it makes it look better. Okay, and then sharpening. You don't want too much of it either. Like I've told you many times, you don't want too much post-processing, because too much is what the stock camera is doing and it kills the detail. Radius is the thickness of the filter. Let's put it here so you see. 3, 1, half. 2, 1, half. So the smallest makes it look the most natural, but too much sharpening doesn't make it look natural too. And detail, I usually keep the detail at 100, and masking sometimes helps you kinda smoothen the sharpening filter. So now this picture looks amazing to me. Now what you want to do is to create your own user preset, so you won't have to manually waste time on every picture taken in the same light condition. Let's say NR 1/8 of a second, ISO whatever, let's say below 100. Next time you will just have to apply this filter instead, and it will save a lot of time. Then you just save it to device, and voila, you have a good picture. Next time you'll just waste a couple seconds on importing it, applying the preset and exporting. That's all you will do. So let's do the quick comparison one more time. Stock camera. And I will upload all the photos so that you can compare them on your computer and see the real difference by yourself. And you're free to do whatever you want with your phone, but now that I have told you how to take good pictures, never hesitate to spend time on it, because this is the future in 5 years from now. Because you don't have a camera probably, or if you do, you're too lazy to use it. But you're not too lazy to sit down and play games, read unnecessary news. Instead of that, just spend a couple seconds on importing your pictures into Lightroom, denoising them manually, and ending up having good, sharp pictures. So look at this. There's no sleeve, there's no detail, there's nothing. Like I said, this is shame. This is quality. Make sure you get the best out of your phone. Though it takes patience, though it takes effort, you will be rewarded with a much better quality in the end. Thank you for watching. Leave any questions and comments, and see you later.